Well, the theme song for this year's Rockwall Yellowjackets has been "We Dem Boys," and they have certainly proven to be them boys after 7 games. Rockwall Yellowjackets now 7-0 after a 56-35 track meet over Saxe. Hello everybody, Chris Curtis here for the Rockwall Sportscenter Yellowjacket update, joined by the captain of the broadcast here for the Yellowjackets, Billy Quinn. And Billy, you were right, you predicted it last week, a track meet between Rockwall and Saxe, and Rockwall comes out in better end.
Yeah, I'm not exactly Nostradamus on that one. I think a lot of people saw that one coming. In fact, the Dallas Morning News predicted a 56-42 final, and they came close to that. But we knew in that ball game that Rockwall was going to score, but you also knew Saxe was going to put some points on the board. And even when Rockwall would go up by 21, you knew that wasn't a safe lead. But Rockwall's defense made stops when they need to. The usual cast of characters did their job, had a great game as far as Warren and Castile and Reed. And so really good win for Rockwall, key win in district play. And so Rockwall takes another step towards the playoffs and possibly a district championship.
It seems like the same beat for this Rockwall Yellowjacket team, but talk about this might have been their really first big challenge of the year, and they passed it with flying colors.
They did. On offense, on the offensive side, of course, we've seen it all year. Chris Warren over 300 yards rushing, and multiple touchdowns, and Castile both running the ball and catching the ball. He has one of the greatest runs you've seen when kind of reverses field, scores a touchdown, launching himself into the end zone. Will Reed just accurate as always, getting the passes where they should be. And then the defense on the other side. That is a very tough Saxe offense. It's one of the top offenses in the area, and that Rockwall came in and stopped them. After Saxe moved the ball down the field, their second possession, Rockwall came in and held them and gave Rockwall, the Rockwall offense, they gave them an opportunity to go up by 21. We knew that Saxe would rally. They did, but the Rockwall defense stood when they had to.
All right, you got to think of happy Coach Webb. Let's hear what he had to say after his team's 56-35 victory over Saxe.
Well, I told our team after the game, any kind of victory this time of year is good, and they come in all shapes and sizes, and it doesn't matter to me if it's high scoring or low scoring or a blowout or a tight game. A win is a win, so we're glad to get the victory. I felt like coming off the open week we were kind of rusty in some areas, but our kids competed well. Give all the credit in the world to Saxe for hanging around and keeping the pressure on us. But our kids responded to the adversity that we faced in the second half very well.
And of course, the beat keeps going for the Rockwall Yellowjackets this week. A little bit of a rivalry going on with the Cross Lake rivals, if you want to call it a lake per se, maybe a dry field now as of now. We need a little rain. But it's Rylette coming into town, 7:30 here at Wilkerson Sanders Memorial Stadium. Nice little matchup for Rockwall. Tell me what Rockwall needs to do to come out 8-0 against Rylette.
Well, first of all, I thought you were going to water conservation talk there, and I
can go there if you want.
I don't know a lot about that, but no, we go to this battle. It's the Battle of Lake Ray Hubbard. Been doing it for years. It is a rivalry. It's not anything like Rockwall Heath, but it's always been a great rivalry, a friendly one, back and forth at Homer B or here at Wilkerson Sanders Stadium. There's been some great games in the past. We've seen some great players come through on Rockwall's side and also on Rylette's side, and so it's been a fun battle. This year, what Rockwall has to do is like what they've done all the time. Do what they do. Don't worry about the other team, as Coach Webb says all the time. We're going to do what we do, and then we'll see where the chips fall. So far this year, it's been all victories. But Rylette is a very difficult team. They come into it 3-1 in district play. They're vying for the district championship. So this ball game will go a long way on deciding who will win the district. I think both teams will be in the playoffs, obviously, but who will win the district will be decided here, possibly at Wilkerson Sanders on Friday night.
Here's Coach Webb talking about Rylette.
Well, Rylette's they're a very good team. They're very well coached. They've got a great offensive scheme. They're very balanced offensively. So, the trouble with Rylette is they're really almost 50-50 run to pass. Defensively, they've got a great scheme, very, very sound fundamentally defensively. They tackle well, and you really have to earn what you get against them.
And Billy, one of the big stories this year has been the student swarm section at Rockwall High School. They have brought the noise every single week. They're going to need to bring it even more this week. It's supposed to be a packed house here for Rylette, and it could go a long way, as you mentioned earlier, in deciding who ends up winning this district championship and moving on to the playoffs.
The fans have been a huge part of this winning streak for the Yellowjackets. Coach Webb has mentioned it. The players have mentioned it. We can even notice when we're up in the booth, we have the crowd mics and all that, and we have to we don't turn it up as much as as we used to in the past. We used to have to kind of crank it it up a little bit. Now you barely turn it on because the crowd's going crazy. You mentioned the student swarm. They're nuts, and we're looking over here as we're on the field. They're over here in this section. They sell it out every time. My kid goes to Rockwall High School. He's got to get there early to get tickets to be a part of that student swarm. It's a huge deal there at Rockwall, and so they are a big part of this. They carry the team. They travel well. Pretty much filled up the stands over at Williams Stadium for the Saxe game, so it is fun to see all the orange in the stands, both here in Wilkerson Sanders and when we go away.
And don't forget to come out here 7:30 at Wilkerson Sanders Memorial Stadium. If you can't join the student swarm or join the stands here, it's Billy Quinn at www.rockwallisd.com. Once again, 7:30. It's the second to last home game for your Rockwall Yellowjackets. You're 1-for-1 in predictions. You want to go 2-for-2?
Yeah, let me see here. We're going to win. Definitely. That's easy.
Well, you're 8-0, 7-0 on that right now.
Right. So I'm going to shoot for 8-0 here. We're going to win, but I think it's going to be another shootout. I think Rockwall probably gets back in the 50s again because they just seem to score on everybody. I think it'll be like about a 56-21 win for Rockwall.
All right, holding you to that.
All
right. Another track meet here at Wilkerson Sanders Memorial Stadium. Until next week, I'm Chris Curtis for Billy Quinn. Thanks for joining us on the Rockwall Sportscenter Yellowjacket Update. See you next week.